What is up, everybody? In this video, I had to hit Tarukin with a dosage of some marijuana because he did not want to get on set. Usually he knows it's time to film. Let's give him a little whiff. Watch this. Watch how violent he is. See? He never bites me. Sweetest cat, but, you know, when he's hopped up on this shit, well, you can see. So in this video, we're gonna go over this one trade, one shot today. I'm gonna go through the narrative, the hunt, getting into it. It's a good case study. Let's read some narrative. First thing you may notice is there's a green line here and a red line up here. This is marking out a range on a daily time frame. This range happened to start at the end of September and it's gone on for a long time. Now, if you happen to be watching this at the time of filming, this would be March 11th. A lot of you guys think Trump's tariffs and the presidential bullshit and politics are the reason the market is dumping. I'm gonna say that's not entirely true. News catalysts is helping fuel the down move. However, anytime something goes into a multi-fucking-month range like this, when it breaks, whether it's the upside or the downside, it goes and it goes for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It can go for another month. The bigger the range, the longer the range panned out for, the bigger the blowout, the longer the blowout goes. There's just a lot of pressure up in this range, so therefore people are repositioning. And when markets go down, volatility picks up. And guess what? Markets go down. It's just going to happen. The market consolidated, and from an auction market theory standpoint, it decided to break the bottom of the range, and it's gonna go quick. Too many times traders have sat with me and been surprised by this shit, and time again, I say, do not be surprised by this shit. The next thing I decided to do is zoom into a 30-minute chart. Notice how there's a range right down here. If we go back to the daily time frame, that range is these two bars overlapping here. We're at the bottom of this range. So now I need to figure out what might be happening. I have a video called How I Make Trading Decisions. It will be in the description below. And look at Tarukin, he's all tuckered out now. In the How I Make Trading Decision video, I made this mind map checklist in Obsidian, which is a free software you can download from the internet. So we're gonna touch upon this. So we know we are in a downtrend on the higher time frame. Gonna be a bit more short biased. However, on the 30-minute time frame, we are in a range and it does have a bottle look. Now it's not tight, it is a bit loose. So typically you can have cleaner mean reversion plays when you have a nice looking range. However, how do you know when to take the breakout? Well, this video is gonna help you understand that, hopefully. Notice how we kind of tested the bottom, pulled up to the midpoint of the range, and now we're retesting the bottom. What do I need? I need more context. What I do next is I draw the range lines, which this is a modified Fibonacci tool on Sierra charts. Next, I start to zoom into the 30-second chart. So you may notice that this does not look like a range in this sloppy mess. Let's go back to the 30-minute. So as you can see, it says 310 down here and 311. This was done at, this low right here was at 7:45 at night. Whereas we're testing here between 9 and 12:30-ish. So when I zoom into a 30-second chart, you're not gonna see all this range. So now I zoom in and I just wanna look at this shit. What are they sort of doing? Some of you may notice there's a volume profile over here on the right. This is not a volume profile. This is those option flow levels. And before any of you ask me how to teach that shit or if I find it useful, another trader wrote and coded this shit up. It's not just any ordinary GEX option flow shit. This is custom coded shit for Sierra charts using some outside data. And in his opinion, GEX levels get a lot of things wrong. So these are option flow levels. I think they're glorified fucking levels, and you still need skill set to attack them. And I think they're overrated. So he was nice enough to explain to me that Basically, I'm wrong, but he didn't say I was wrong. He explained why they work, how it works, and it confused the shit out of me. So I just put them on just to kind of monitor them while I watch my trading to see how things react. I'll say that they are interesting. And I did ask him if he'd like to be on the show, and then he could explain all the shit and why this shit is important. Hopefully that can happen. If not, I'm going to keep bothering him until he decides to do an interview with me and he explains this shit. So before you go looking at that, thinking I'm making trading decisions off of it, I am not. However, I do find that it does add something interesting, like pivot points. Now, what you're about to see, the trade you're about to see, has nothing to do with any of these levels. The dash lines are every 5 points, and those are psych prices. So as we can see, we're seeing rotations on the yellow lines, and then we're seeing them between the yellow lines. So when I look at my Obsidian checklist, and we go to what are psych prices doing, mix of both, do not use. Sometimes we can use them. Now this green line here, this is the bottom of that 30-minute range. Notice we're kind of compressing and we're near the bottom of it. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on, but the bottom of this 30-minute area is important. You'll see why later in the video. Next, I kind of just look at the 3-second chart. I look at all these charts. I'm just kind of fucking looking at the fucking shit. I just want to look at it. And I'll tell you this, at this point in time, nothing's making sense to me. So at the time of trade 1, I'm currently confused. Now, I'm not getting upset. I'm okay with my P&L because I'm flat and I have no desire to trade. This is my trade tags using the Tradecraft software. The website is linked in the description below. It's tradecraft.club, not .com. Go check it out. It's the ultimate journaling software, in my opinion. This is my brainchild. My prop traders use it. I use it. Plenty of tutorials you can check out, which are done by me, your favorite YouTube trader. And there's quite a few of them. This one's fucking sick as shit right here. Let me show that real quick, because I didn't do it to my journal. So I record a YouTube, and what I want to do is take the video link, the URL up here. I want to go to daily report cards. I want to paste the ID, and then I need to figure out the video start time. I kind of fucked this up. The tutorial explains it better. It's at 12:10. So we go in here, we put in 12:10, boom, like that. That's all I do, and I push add. Look at that, the video goes in, and guess what? I go to my trades, and guess what? I press play, and there's my trade. Now, since I kind of fucked up the time stamping on this, because you have to do it down to the precise seconds, I didn't have the seconds. It'll take the YouTube video, and it'll embed it to every single trade. I only took one trade for the session, but if I had more trades, it'll add the video to every trade, and it'll be in the correct timestamp. So if you want to review your trades, you'll be able to do it. Now, one thing I can do is let me see how many seconds before this trade is executed. So the trade is initiated about 50 seconds before the before the video plays here. So I put in start playing 50 seconds before entry. We'll go to daily report card section, and then I can go to daily trades. Click on this, and the trade is going to be initiated right there. Now, if I had more trades on the session, I could look at every trade and they just start playing, which is fucking sick. Because if we go to our main dashboard, and let me just get rid of the date, we'll look at my entire equity curve right here. We'll put on markers, and let me get rid of MAE, MFE, and I can click on this last trade up here. I can click anywhere on this equity curve. It takes me straight to the trade, and then I can just go watch it immediately. You probably can barely see it, but it's being placed there. And if I also wanted to, I could put autoplay on. So let's actually do about 55 seconds ahead, so we get an extra 5 seconds, so it's not being placed immediately. I'll go back here. You know, let's pretend, you know, it's been a month and this is an A+ trade. I could just click on this dot. I go here, I scroll down, and then it'll autoplay. You can probably barely see it, but I'm about to place the trade, which we're going to review in this video. And there it goes. And it'll do that for every single fucking trade. No other journal's fucking doing this shit, by the way. And the price for the Tradecraft software is extremely fucking affordable. Whether you buy the base package or the premium, you all get this access to this feature. So I've made review which I preach about on this channel, a lot easier for you guys to do. So now there should be no goddamn excuse not to fucking review your fucking sessions when you can just pop it in. Our software does all the math and boom, you can just watch your fucking trades like that. It's a good goddamn product. It's so fucking good that I'm gonna get a tattoo of the logo, which this is our logo. And if anybody knows how to translate that Japanese writing and you see what it says, you know that's a bit of a cameo if you've been around my channel long enough. But that's a good ass fucking logo. I love this product so much, I will, probably not, but in fantasy world, get a tattoo of this on my ass cheek, huge as shit. So that way, when I go to the fucking beach and put on a man thong, because real men wear man thongs at the fucking beach, everybody can see it on my fucking cheek. Because we out here clapping the market and clapping cheeks. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Boys went off the rails a little bit. I didn't tag this, so I'm going to tag it while I do this, because I'm reviewing it the day of. So now what you're about to see me do is draw some fucking lines. This is a 10-second chart. This is my baby. I love the 10-second chart. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing these blue lines. There's a double top right here. This, when we come back here, is called a liquidity zone. Are they taking it? Yes, no, they're V-flushing it. Well, as you can see, they're not taking it. So no means reversal. That means they're going down. We're drawing another double top. They didn't take that one. So I have two liquidity zones here and here, and they have not taken it down. Now notice the market is at kind of an aggressive angle of a down channel, but it's starting to get a little flat. Remember, the green line is the bottom of a range on a higher time frame. And this green line happens to be like a triple top as well. I drew the blue line, but you can't see it because the green line's on top of the blue line. Now I'm about to draw some fucking reclaims. That's a reclaim. You don't know what a reclaim or a slip is? Guess what? I fucking say this in every single fucking video. There's another video called Reclaims and Slips. I'm not going to show it on my little TV that I have green screened in. Just go on a link in the description below and find Slips and Reclaims video. If you don't know what it is, because so many people are like, I don't understand what it is. Go watch that video fucking 15 times. Then you'll know. Because when you watch this shit, you're retaining like 10% of what the fuck's coming out of my mouth. And it really does take watching something 10 to 15 times to fully grasp what I'm saying. You should grasp it to the point you can teach somebody else what the hell it is. And then that means you're proficient in reclaim and slip knowledge. Nobody said trading was easy. Actually, no, there are people who say it. There's a couple more reclaims. They're not taking those back. So if we go to the reclaims, are they taking? No. What is that? Trend in this specific circumstances. So this is a downtrend, I know for a fact. As far as liquidity goes, we also have reversal to the downside. I got a few things confirming a down move. It's like, yeah, no shit. Okay, well, I need to see what the theme of the session is. So I draw another reclaim. However, again, they're softening up here. I need to know more fucking information. So we're zooming in a little bit. And you can see this area I drew right here. There's a 30 minutes, so it's all like fucking overlapped and shit. When we go to the daily, I want to know what's happening on the daily. Because price action is, guess what? It's fractal. What does that mean? Well, you're going to have a range and a range and a range and a range. It's kind of like when you look at a mirror and there's another mirror behind you and you see you going on forever. That's what price action is. And the high time frame tells us where the wind is blowing, because as a scalper, I want to make sure I'm going where the wind blows. So there's a bit of a reclaim here. You can see me tracing it. I am narrating this. If you want to see the full narration of this trade or any of the other trades on my equity curve, you can join the coffee. I narrate all of them, and I review them too. However, this specific episode, I'm doing the review on YouTube for you guys. Going back to the 30-minute, just kind of looking at this fucking thing. And what I want to know is, like, what's to the left of this? We know it's a reclaim, so I'm drawing this pink line right here because I want to, like, go to the left. Now, the problem is CR chart's a little fucked up, so what I need to do is squish the price scale and get everything real skinny and go all the way to September, which is a lot of fucking scrolling, and then see where it intersects with that pink line. Okay, it looks like it's September 10th or 11th. So what I'm gonna do is expand the fucking thing. And what does that price action look like? I want to confirm on the daily chart that this is indeed September 11th. So I pull up my fucking crosshair and I'm like, it's September 11th. So now I go back and I look at the price action from September 11th on the 30-minute. And so far, well, what you're going to see me do is adjust this pink line to get exactly to where the low of the session is, which is 45.55 or some shit like that. So now we got the pink line in the right spot. So there's a little bit, this is a really intense reclaim right here. And they're retracing it. So when we go to old fucking the chart here, are they taking reclaims? In the circumstance of this higher time frame, they are taking a reclaim to the downside, so a reclaim play is in play. So if you probably noticed in this video, I said they're not taking reclaims. We have a trend down. Yes, on a smaller time frame. However, on the higher time frame, they are taking a fucking reclaim. So we have a reclaim play on the higher time frame. And there's a little bit of reclaim left, so there might be more of a down move. So we go back to the 10-second. And I realize that could be a possibility. I need a little more fucking information at this point. So I start to look at more of this price action. And I'm just kind of fucking trying to figure out what to do. Because have an idea of context, but I'm not sure what direction to go. Where to put a fucking trade. So what do? I don't fucking just start trading like some of you assholes do. I sit there and stare at it till it makes sense. I have this tag called my read on price action. Am I clear, or am I in between, or am I fucking thoroughly confused? Well, I have a better idea of what's happening, but I still don't know where to place a trade. Why is my idea of what's happening so important? Well, I'll show you. Let's go to our main dash. Now that we're in our main dash, I want to scroll down to those tags and look at the equity curve. And this is like every trade I take when I'm clear. And this is what happens when I'm confused. Let me remove my head so you can see that. When I'm not quite sure what's going on or confused, it's below 0. What does that mean? Means I'm losing money. So being very clear about what the fuck is going on and what direction I need to trade makes a huge difference. In fact, I think this is the #1 cause to why so many traders fucking fail, is because you guys are taking trades when you're fucking confused or you're not quite sure what's going on. You need to be very clear about the price action. And I have statistics with all my prop traders, and the equity curves look almost exactly identical. When they're confused, they perform like shit. And if you buy the Tradecraft software, you can measure it and see for yourself. And then as you have statistics glaring at you in the fucking face like this, you'll now be aware of, hey, I do need to be more clear, because clearly the equity curve performs a lot better than when I'm fucking confused. You can make the change, trade better, and then you can thank Tradecraft and tell your friends about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing fucking blue lines showing the double bottoms and all that shit. We already looked at the double tops, triple tops, quad tops. Now I want to look at the bottom side of how they're handling liquidity. So we can see that down here they V-flush it and come back in. There's another fucking double bottom, quad bottom, or whatever the hell. It doesn't need to rotate it exactly to the tick. It needs to be within a few ticks of itself. So we're kind of measuring old shit, and then I'm drawing out V-flushes. Okay? So let me fast forward to when I draw all of this shit. So I noticed when they had a double bottom here, they pushed through it. I also noticed that when there was a double, triple bottom here, they V-flushed it. I noticed that on this flat bottom here, they continue to sustain. So when we go to Obsidian, when we look at the liquidity on the bottom side, there is a combination of V-flushing and breakouts. So if they're doing 2 or more, they're generating liquidity, lots of fake outs, scalp, wait for flushes from tight areas. However, due to the nature of the higher context read and all the reads in general, I'm getting a better idea of what's potentially happening here. Next, I want to see how they're V-flushing the upper ends of shit. So what you're going to see me do on this upper bar, they V-flush it, they come in, and then they keep pushing. Yeah, that's like one of the only fucking spots where they actually do that. So I'm going back in time to see if they did that anywhere else. And this was earlier in the morning. You can see it's really flat there. Right in here, it's very flat. I'm not drawing a line, but they did V-flush it, kind of. But they went back through it. So there's 2 counts where they've done this. Now coming back to this price action, I'm noticing a pattern here. If they're V-flushing the top or breaching the top of a liquidity zone, at some point they just continue to push low. We're at the bottom of a higher time frame range. The daily chart, they're taking the reclaim back. So they're also kind of like compressing at the low of the fucking range. And when you're trading the edge of a range, it's kind of like tricky. It's like, what are they going to do? Are they going to mean revert? Are they going to break out? However, we know that on the daily time frame, that reclaim is below us. So they could be taking that. And what are they doing here? You got like a triple top. They're V-flushing it. So I'm waiting to get more context on this thing. I want to see if they start reversing. Because if they start breaking this V-flush out, then that means the pattern I'm seeing has changed. And there could be a bigger mean reversion on deck. Which, by the way, happened. So if we look at the charts now, I'll go to the 10-second chart. You can see where I drew all that bullshit over there. This is where we're looking roughly in the video, is right in this section. Notice how they come down, put in another triple top, they break it, and then they break this other V flush. So at this point in time, that's telling me that we're gonna mean revert, which we do by a lot, like almost 70 fucking points. So if we go to a 30-minute chart here, go to now, we can see that they definitely busted up hardcore. So they basically V-flushed this major range and rolled. However, at the time of that, that's not what's happening. At the time of this, I can see them setting up. I'm fucking looking around. I'm trying to look at these Gex levels and there ain't shit here. So this is why I say nothing's there. So I'm kind of like hunting in on the fucking Dom at this point. I'm like, all right, I'm going to see what they do in here. We got the V-flush. If they're going to take that, they're probably going to pop it up. If they start flushing down, there could be a breakout low. So I'm just kind of waiting for this thing to go, and I'm going to fast forward it. Just being a nice patient trader, and then lo and behold, the son of a bitch just starts flushing really fucking hard out of nowhere, and that's a massive flush. So for me, I'm like, this is a fucking breakout. So we are breaking the 30-minute range, and I know that down to the 20s, because we're at 55.42, down at 55.25 or some shit like that. The rest of that daily reclaim is down there, so we might be going through that. Also, there's a bit of a micro range up in this region as well. So 30-minute, we're at the bottom of range, but we're also like compressing, and there's a micro range here. So on this specific trade, I'm going against the 30-minute range, so it's a breakout. I would say this does not exist, and I'm going against a micro range. So we already saw this trade be initiated earlier. It's attached to the journal. So we get short. I think I'm a little bit earlier. I think I could have been a little more patient on the deal, but due to the nature of how it was running, wanted to go for it. I'm marking out strike price 45. I feel I have a pretty good fucking read on the situation at this point. It's floating. I'm not looking to take too much. You can see there's a Gex level down here. I don't really care about that. I want to get out at roughly 40 because 40 is going to be a strike price. It's almost like a 5-point layup. I'm putting a macro in here. I like to slice my orders, and I'm waiting for it to get to 40, which there's liquidity, and unfortunately the fucking price action's floating back up. And then they slap it, and the order gets executed. We make $2,000 on the fucking thing. I do realize that I could have probably held it longer. So I know I'm definitely like, I'm actually mid shimmy on this. This is a slip or reclaim technique because there's some shimmy. I'm not going to explain it. I'm very aggressive on the trade. I'm going to give it a yellow star. There are management things I could have done better. I feel I could have got a better entry, and I feel like I could have held more on that. I knew that I kind of fucked that one up. Let's calculate the stats on this. So far with these three range combinations of tags, we've had a 69% win rate, 13 trades, 16 grand. So in this specific scenario, we have edge. Sometimes you can have a good win percentage, but you could be down on the P&L. And I'm going to rewind that just a little bit. We were in it at 43.50, which to me, that's a purgatory price. So am I on the psych price or close to the psych price? Am I between the psych price or am I on purgatory? I think these tags don't matter. When we go to the main journal here and we look at the psych prices, We're getting a lot of performance from mid and psych prices. And this is purgatory. We don't have as high of a sample rate, so we're not hitting purgatory levels as much. We'll come out of that, and then we can come here. This will actually give us the statistics on all of these trades. So far, we have a 58% win rate on purgatory trades, but I believe there might be some outsized win or loss that's hurt this. Roughly, I've been running about a high 60% win rate on all of these. Something happened on purgatory that hurt its statistic. All of these have been about roughly the same. And what's cool about Tradecraft is I can actually figure that out. I'll go to this page filter, go to tag, add filter. I'll click on purgatory. So every trade with the purgatory tag is filtered like that. And then we'll come down here and we can look at all of the trades with the purgatory deal. And let's look at the P&Ls. So the biggest loss is 2,500 and the biggest wins are about 5,200. So there hasn't been an outsized loss or win on it. So I must have taken a bunch of losers, or there might be psych prices have been contributing to it. So I'll come in here and I do want to look at the in-betweener and confusion tags to see how that's affecting me. Actually, here's what we'll do. We'll get rid of the clear. We'll say don't look at clear tags. I want to look at all the psych price tags here. And then you can see as far as the purgatory tags go, when we're not clear, we've taken more on point psych price tags than we have purgatory. And we've taken about the same. Actually, mid tags are suffering the most when we're not clear. It's interesting because this pink line, it's starting to suffer for some reason. For the longest time, it had the same win rate as these, but something happened. Obviously, there's an outsized win on this blue line. I can do this. I created a tag called outliers. If I say don't show me the outliers, you can see that big line disappears because I tagged the trade with outlier. If I undo the outlier, I can figure out exactly what tag that is by clicking this blue dot. And it's this trade from 2/26/2025, which I made a video on it. Link in the description. It's a $10,000 win. You can see it takes me right there, and there's the video on it. You'll see it's embedded with the YouTube video. You'll see it play, but I tagged it outlier. So if you get big wins or big losses and it's fucking your results, you can have that kind of a tag to weed them out so you can see a better representation of your statistics, because sometimes really big wins or unusually large losses will fuck the statistics for you. So it's good to tag these things. Going back to the trade, we're short. We get out of the fucking thing. I should have held it. It does run lower. It runs an additional 5 points. You can barely see it. I knew I should have held it. And it actually doesn't quite roll on that Gex level, I don't think. Let me double check. I mean, it rolls above this higher node. I'm sure the guy that made it is telling me, you're wrong about this shit. I don't understand it. That's why I need you on the channel to explain it. But they roll above it. But coming into it, it is a yellow star trade. To me, this is not a perfect fucking trade. I should have done better. Should have held it for more. And what's interesting is when we actually come into the main dashboard, I have the yellow star tags. And you can see my hold more tags. Out of 67 trades that have inherited the hold more tag, that's a lot of trades where I could have held more. Now, purple line is you held too long. Red line is the orange line is a better entry. Red line is called a flip hit. It's when I go from a long to a short almost immediately, which is making money. That's interesting because there's an outlier attached to it. And then the gray is going to be a hybrid of two tags, which is the orange and the blue, or the orange and the purple. So I've been getting better at holding more because this statistic is showing me. Now, there's a fine line between holding more and not holding enough, but I've noticed that, I really need to push trades. And I have been, but I'm not perfect at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Check out Tradecraft. You can use it for free for a week. See if you fucking enjoy it. It's the best goddamn journal out there, in my opinion. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.